It's time we all step up our drip game. We become fashionistas. And I figured there's no better way to pull that inspiration than to check out Miss Universe. And I know it sounds boring to some people, it's not your thing. And I'll say this, let me change your mind. What they do in the Miss Universe pageant competition is they have each country represent themselves in a way that is eccentric and inspirational to the background of their country with a costume. And this is what Miss USA decided to do this year. Like, oh my god, look at her. She's wearing stiletto high heels. She's wearing like the skinny high heels with this huge ass contraption on her back, which looks like a hot air balloon, a blimp of some sorts, a massive tick. Like, it gives me tick vibes that's like sucking the blood out of her body and her ancestors' family tree body that goes back to the inception of humankind, of its like beginning. Oh my god. Jesus. How much do you guys think that actually weighs? That's gotta weigh quite a bit. Like, let's say 50, 60 pounds maybe. Like, that's a lot for somebody of her stature to have, let alone anybody, for a period of time when you're wearing stiletto high heels. I'm a guy, so I don't know what it's like, but every woman always complains about wearing high heels. Imagine this contraption on your back. It looks like something from the 1700s or even earlier, like 1300, where you'd steal bread from a bakery way back in the day, and they'd strap a boulder on your back, and they would make you climb a mountain. You know, America, go big or go home, baby. Let's go. Hell yeah. I would expect nothing less from America. They came, they represented, and you know what you know what this gives me the vibe of? Her walking in gives me the vibe of that movie. It's like Mars Attack or Attack from Mars. You guys know what I'm talking about? She's walking at the exact same pace, too. Oh, it's too good. It's like she's trying to keep a straight face, just like Miss USA, because she's in pain. You can see the pain in her face. She's like, holy fuck, the designers told me that they're going to put something small on it. It was going to be lightweight. This thing weighs like 80 pounds on my back. I can barely walk. I'm starting to have a tingling sensation down the left side of my leg. I think I'm going to go into cardiac arrest. I can barely breathe with this contraption. Good for her, though. She rocked it. She definitely killed it. It's just that at what point does the costume become more than a costume? It starts to become its own entity. It's going to be really crazy to see what they're going to do the next year and the year after that, because it's going to have to become bigger and better every single year. Like, how do you top this? How do you top it? You know, you can only represent and pull inspiration from your country in so many different ways. Dudettes, while editing the video, I think I've come up with the perfect costume. It's right here. I don't know, maybe it's just inevitable. Like, it's gonna reach that point where it's gonna get so extreme to where they're just gonna conjoin with it, and then it's just irreversible. It's like, hey, yeah, look, you're gonna have to wear the big tick on your back now because we had to surgically implant the costume into your body. Sorry, but we needed to win this, Miss Universe. We need to get the dub. This one is Miss Canada from a few years back, and I mean, it's a little crazy. I get it, they're representing hockey, and she has an actual scoreboard. She has an actual scoreboard attached to her back, which its home is 20 and 14. What game are they playing? Period 3, 2 penalties. This is a weird... what game is that? Also, they kind of downplayed it. I'm kind of disappointed in Canada's Miss Universe because they didn't attach the actual Stanley Cup to her head. I mean, just strap on a neck brace with some, you know, rebar coils that extend out of it to hold the Stanley Cup. And hello, like, go big or go home. If you're gonna do this, go all the way. Don't try and cut corners. Like, if you're gonna put the Stanley Cup on your head, get the real Stanley Cup. Come on, Canada. You got a real scoreboard. At least get the real Stanley Cup and attach it to her head. Put a little neck brace on her. And hey, she's good to go. You have to do these things if you want to get the dub. Still though, one of my all-time favorites and cherished ones is when America back in 2013 decided to become a fucking transformer. A transformer. Out of everything to represent them, they became a transformer. This represented America back in 2013. Let's go, America, hell yeah. A transformer. I don't want to leave you guys on a cliffhanger if you don't like pay attention to these things, which I swear to God I don't. This just popped up in my feed and I decided to talk about it because it's just so crazy and bizarre the extent that a lot of these costumes will go. It really makes you wonder where they're getting the inspiration from, the ideas behind it, who's okaying it, who's coming up with the designs, and also like why those designs. I don't know. If you're wondering, oh my God, is Miss Universe okay? Is she in a wheelchair now? She actually won the whole pageant. She won Miss Universe. America, they just took the cake. They decided, hey, you know what? We're gonna strap a goddamn meteorite to your back, the size of what would look like an inflated giant tick sucking the blood out of your family and ancestral bloodline. And it worked. It paid off. Now that we've seen that, I'm fair game for saying I'm 100% watching Miss Universe next year. And specifically, I'm looking forward to the costume part. I'm really going to be pulling that inspiration to level up my drip game, of course. Duh.